Today we're pulling out 2 Corinthians chapter 4. So, therefore, since we have this ministry, just as God has shown us mercy, we do not become discouraged. And then I'm going to go down a little bit. But even if our gospel is veiled, it is veiled only to those who are perishing, among whom the God of this age has blinded the minds of those who do not believe, so they would not see the light of the glorious gospel of Christ. So here it says, among whom the God of this age has blinded. Who's it talking about here? It's talking about Satan here, because Satan will find ways to blind you guys. This generation, he will use every single method, every single way, and sometimes recycle the same method against us to blind us and make us not see the truth, not see the good news. And then we have, for God, who said, let light shine out of darkness, is the one who shined in our hearts to give us the light of the glorious knowledge of God in the face of Christ. Let the light shine out of darkness. Guys, Jesus has come into our life, and our life before him was so sinful, dark, and disgusting. But when he came in, he was the light. He shined it in the dark. Where there was once sin, now there's light, and now we have salvation from that sin. And so now, since we have the salvation, since we are saved and we are brought to the light, he calls us to go out and proclaim and be the light for others. So the next verse after that, it says, but we have this treasure in clay jars, so that the extraordinary power belongs to God and does not come from us. Power has never came from us. We were never born with this ability to do what God does. We're just not. We're sinful by nature. But Jesus empowers us, and it's only through him, not through us. If someone is praying and healing upon another person, it is the power driven by God, not by them. If somebody is going out here and praying for somebody who has great anxiety or stress in their life, it is by the power of God that it goes away, not by our own power. We are experiencing trouble on every side, but are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are persecuted, but not abandoned. We are knocked down, but not destroyed. Don't you see? A father is going to let you endure what you need in order to make you grow. A good father is going to let his kid learn from the hardships so that way he becomes a better man. In the same way, God will let you go to a certain point and let you be driven so far, but then always come back because he's never let go of you. God will use things in your life to make you spiritually grow. He won't let you loose. As long as you have your hand in his hand, it doesn't matter how far you are. It doesn't matter if you're at the end of the road and he's at the other end. He will pull you back and he will be like, you are now grown. You have now spiritually matured. He finds ways to make events in your life mature you as a Christian, so that way you can go out and proclaim the gospel in a better way than you once did before. That way you can go out and you can live through Christ in a better way you did before. For me, I was someone that proclaimed myself as a Christian, but I didn't actually reflect the life of Christ through how I acted, I talked, and how I spoke with everyone around me, how I treated others around me. I never once showed and revealed Christ to other people, but I proclaimed him with my lips. So he put me through stress and traumatic mental experience, so that way he would be able to let me grow spiritually and have me in the place that I am in now. If not for the things that I went through like 2 years ago, I wouldn't be who I am now. If not for me having to deal with stress, anxiety, and sometimes even dark thoughts. If he didn't let me go through that pain, I would have never, ever changed my ways. Never. Because I proclaimed God, but I never actually lived for him. I always lived for myself. I used Jesus as an excuse. I said if he was involved, then it was okay. For me, I thought modeling was okay, even though it was all self-centered and about pride. That's what it did to me. It may not do that for you, but that's what it did to me. I used modeling, which was the career that I wanted to do before anything, as a means to say this is still Christian, because I used like, I don't know, I'd be like, the model I'm looking at and trying to be more like is a follower of Christ, so that makes it okay. But really, the person wasn't a follower of Christ. They just briefly mentioned God, but I just used him as an excuse. And so if I never went through the traumatic experiences in my head and my own stress and anxiety and depression, if I didn't go through any of that, those ways would still exist today. And sometimes they do come back, but they're very short-lived because I know the truth now. And so Jesus, he let me go to a certain extent where I felt like I was so far gone and there was no hope and there was nothing left for me, but he was still there alongside with me and he never let me go, and he brought me to where I am now. If not for any of that, I wouldn't have been able to spiritually mature. It says, always carrying around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be made visible in our body. Jesus is a reflection on us. When others look at us, they should see Christ. If you're trying to fulfill a standard of somebody else and you're trying to live out like somebody else would have, like if you have an idol in your life and they sit on the throne of your heart, if you try to live like that person, they're never going to see Jesus. If you are a Christian, you are called to live like Christ does. So you need to reflect Jesus. It doesn't mean your career has to be like, oh, you're a pastor. It doesn't mean your career has to be about preaching the word, because everyone has specific talents that God will use. But what it does mean is that in your downtime, in your free time, even outside of that, but in your alone time and how you live personally, it should reflect Christ. It doesn't have to be a professional career or anything. It can just be God living through you day by day, every single step of the way, so that the life of Jesus may be made visible in our body. Christ should be in us. That's what we need to do. So, hope this message blessed you all. I know we were kind of back and forth a little bit on some topics, but really, main point was that Jesus will never let us go so far. He will always, always be there with us at the depths of our trauma. And also, the devil, Satan, he blinds this generation, and we fall for it all the time. And he uses the same tricks, uses the same recycled methods, and yet we still fall into it. I fall victim to it all the time. So I'm not even trying to come on here and start, bashing you guys for it. I'm just telling you the reality of the world. Look at the ways that you're falling into sin. My friend, if you're falling into lust, understand he's been using the same method for the past however many years you've been in lust. If you are falling into anger, he's been using the same method every single time. It's nothing different. So if we want to stop sinning, we have to give our life to Jesus. We have to look at what is causing the sin, what's at the root problem. Jesus will help you find the root problem of your sin. So, pray this message blessed you guys. Love you. See ya.